cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode. That wasn't annoying. 1871. Hello, I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from
Mike's Daily Podcast
Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton. Today, I will try to bring you another one sometime, and I will say Podcastro Valley is where I'm broadcasting from. But we'll have to see if I get time for that. Because, you know, I've been known to do some jobs that
Mike's Daily Podcast
require my time. And thus, I get a little busy. So I can't bring you
Mike's
the show.
Daily
Hey, Seal played last night
Podcast
in Saratoga.
Yeah!
I was offered tickets to it, but I did not go. Because, well, let's just say I would have had to move heaven and earth. However, had I gone to the show, I probably would not have had the awful Saturday night surprise that I had yesterday. What was that, you may ask? Oh, I will tell you, because you're listening to the podcast and you probably want to know. And that is, we're getting on the on-ramp going westbound on 580 from Lakeshore in the Grand Lakes area of Oakland, and we're heading towards Point Isabel. That was the plan with Basil the Boxer, who will bark for you shortly, my lovely lady friend and I. And we're going up the on-ramp. My lovely lady friend is telling me some horrible nightmares she had from the previous night that involved a cat with human eyes. I thought about the 1970s. What was that Cat People with that Russian actress? That Cat People movie that was like really kind of a steamy, sultry type 70s sexy movie. And it involved, well, I don't want to go into it right here, but anyway, a cat with eyes, human eyes, and the cat's dying in basically my lovely lady friend's hands. It was this very intense dream, and suddenly Ariel said,
and here's today's podcast picture.
By the way, happy wedding anniversary to Ariel. She and her husband, Jimmy, have been married now, I think, 5 years. I think, yes, it was 5 years ago that I went to the wedding, and I went with a date that I had met on OkCupid, and this gal was a little nutso, a little too much into the tech. She was from the tech world. I met her, well, that's probably how I met her. She was dating guys that she met through OkCupid. That's the freebie one. That's the one where, well, you don't know what you're going to get. And yes, we went on a couple dates, went to this wedding. She was my date to the wedding. I remember she got to be friendly. She kind of was friends with my ex-wife's mom. Basil wasn't there. That was what I remember from that wedding. That was a beautiful wedding, and Ariel's parents are the best, Bob and Georgia, and it was just a fun time. I had a lot of Lagunitas. It was up in Vacaville or Fairfield or something. Hey, these are memories. Oh, there was a deer. There was a bunch of deer. It was at a golf course. It was lovely. These are memories of the fine wedding. However, I do not wish to remember that girl that I met on OkCupid. That put me off of OkCupid permanently, by the way. I went years and years without a date because basically it's pretty easy to date people in this world if you're into the internet thing. If you're into the swipe left, swipe right world, which I am not. I was all about meeting someone naturally, which I did, and I found my lovely lady friend. So she and I are getting onto the on-ramp, and suddenly, she's telling me this scary, sad, nightmare story that dream that she had. And suddenly, there's this big thump, 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 thump sound I'm hearing coming from my tire. And no, the tire isn't flat, but I'm hearing a thump, thump, thump. Oh, no. And so basically there is nowhere to pull over on any of 580 in the Oakland area. There is a shoulder there, but you don't want to pull over. If you think you've got something in your tire, you will know you have something in your tire when you go over to the shoulder. because the shoulder is full of all kinds of crap. There's glass, there's nails, there's spikes, there's vampires, there's little bats flying around. It's scary over there. And you pull over, and I had to pull over, and I got some glass, I'm sure, but I got out of the car. Traffic is zooming by. Apologies to the people that got stuck behind me as I was driving slowly to get over to the shoulder. And sure enough, it's not a nail. It's a whole freaking huge screw with it had a washer. It's still in my tire. Here's the thing. So as I see that, and I'm like, oh God, my tire is going to go flat. I'm going to have to change the tire. And I'm like, we just need to, there's still some air in the tire. Let's get off the freeway. So luckily in that part of Oakland, there's on-ramps and off-ramps very close together. So you can get off the freeway right away. And I'm in this little area near Piedmont. And we park at this a gas station. I am freaking out. I'm using all kinds of curse words. Basil had to cover his ears. My lovely lady friend was laughing at my choice of curse words. And we get out of the car and look, and the tire's still full of air. It hasn't gone flat yet. And my lovely lady friend said, I once drove with a nail for quite a ways. And I go, well, the tire store that I go to, America's Tires, basically owned by the people that own Chick-fil-A. They're all about keeping closed on Sunday. They're a wonderful organization. And maybe because they're closed on Sunday, that is why they are an amazing organization. But I'm like, I got to wait till tomorrow. Because if I go and try and fix this tire now, it's going to cost me all kinds of money. Whereas since I bought my tire through America's Tire, which is also known as Discount Tire, I think on the East Coast, I'm like, I'm gonna get this for free if I change it through my tire company. But if I don't, it's going to cost. So we look at the Google Maps and find you can do that setting on Google Maps where you bypass highways and freeways. And so we found all these back roads back to Castro Valley, rather. And part of it was through the lovely mountain roads. So I'm driving on this screw, and you hear it, the thump, 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 thump. And we're driving along, and I'm the beginning couple minutes, I'm thinking any second this is going to blow. I'm not going to go any faster than 35 miles per hour as we go outside a cafe anyway. We're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valleyton. And we go through red. Now I'm like, wait, after about 10 minutes of this, I'm like, this is going to hold, I think. And we drive through the mountain roads, Redwood Road. It takes us the back way. We see a coyote because we're on these back roads through Mother Nature. There's a coyote right over there. I see one outside a cafe anyway. They basically look like German Shepherds, but they're a little more scruffy, kind of a grayish color. They move really fast because they have to. And we make it home. And this morning I go to check on the tire. It's still full of air. So maybe this is going to work. I'm going to get it changed tomorrow because the thing is closed today. At any rate, this is what I'm telling you is that sometimes life gives you a nail in the tire, and you can gamble and see if it's going to, and push it and see if the tire is going to hold. Or you could change the tire, which I should have done, actually, now that I think about it. I should have changed the tire. But somehow my mind was all on, let's see how far we can push this experiment. And my lovely lady friend was all about it. And Basil could care less. In fact, we actually stopped on Redwood Road. There's a beautiful little area, so a bunch of trails on Redwood Road up in the mountains of Oakland and San Leandro, Castro Valley. And we stopped at a place called Bort, and walked a little bit. It was very nice. Talked to some nice people, nice Californians. The point is that change your tire when there's a nail in it, because you never know what's going to happen. But if you're going to push it, may angels come to your aid. Is this a helpful podcast? Probably not. But that's the story. That's what happens. It's probably happened to you at some point. So, you can push it. I definitely did not want to be on the freeway. I accidentally got on the freeway, too, for a little bit. And I was, oh, God. I kept it under 50, too. But the whole way home, I'm like going 30. So probably not the best idea to do what I did, because there were people behind me. And when I got people behind me on the mountain road, on the back roads, I had to pull over to the side, those areas. They can get off the road. So, anyway, Seal played last night, and I should have gone to that instead. And I would have probably avoided this whole nail in the tire thing. Hey, the podcast picture today is not of the nail, but actually of my lovely lady friend, because I picked her up in Oakland. But this is a picture in Oakland of the lovely area around Lake Merritt. They've just opened this area. It has been closed off for over a year, and they've been working on it and setting up these beautiful sidewalks and stuff. So it's still nice looking. The homeless people are going to be all over it before you know it. There'll be graffiti everywhere, because that's Oakland. But you can see a nice picture of it now at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Hey, you know what? We didn't say hi to people yesterday, did we? Oh, yeah, we did. Because yesterday we had Benita, the scrum fiddle player, and the brewmaster. Who's here today? Who's here? Hello, Mega Master. It's Madame Rootabega, and I just downloaded WeChat to my phone. Oh, the WeChat app? Delete that at once, Madame Rootabega. Delete any 10-cent things that come from 10 cent from that Chinese company are the worst. They bog down your phone. They are terrible. They've got all this information. Now, this is any app really steals your information, but hey, if you wanted to go to a superpower that's trying to undermine America, then I would definitely delete 10 cent off your phone. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, that was a fascinating story about your nail in the tire there.
Yeah, fascinating. Do you know that? Thanks, guys. Yes. I learned a lot from yesterday. So, so much for going to Point Isabel. Hopefully that will happen in the future. MikesDailyPodcast.com is where you can see the podcast picture today. I sure hope to... Oh, and I'm on Instagram. So I was on the radio today, and I really can't... I would love to promote the fact that I am on Instagram to the people that listen to the radio station that I'm on, 92.1 KKDV on Sunday mornings, but I can't, the thing to find, you have to go to, I think it's at Mike's Daily Podcast, and I don't feel like promoting, I don't think I can actually promote my own podcast on the radio station I work for, and yeah, I don't want to push it, but you can, because I'm promoting Mike's Daily Podcast on Mike's Daily Podcast, and you can go to Instagram and go at Mike's Daily Podcast, and you'll find my Instagram and see all the podcast pictures. There. All right, so I guess what we're learning from today is don't drive with a nail in your tire. But there's sometimes where you want to take a gamble, right? Sometimes life offers you these experiences that were actually pretty interesting. The driving through the back road. I don't know if I would have done that with the spare tire, but it was a neat little time. So you can tell me your stories. 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in Mike's Daily Podcast. Let me know what your crazy car experiences are and were. And hey, can you help me out, please? I cannot for the life of me describe this podcast to people. I tell people, hey, it's a podcast to motivate you, to get you going, but is it really? Or is it a podcast that's sort of an observational thing on life, on the world? Is it really? Or is it kind of a comedy thing? No, No, Mike doesn't write comedy. Mike watches comedy. I watched Bridesmaids. Why didn't they ever make a Bridesmaids 2? It was a successful movie in the theaters with Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Rose Byrne, Melissa McCarthy. Oh, it launched her career. She made a ton of movies after that. A bunch. Oh, and there's that guy. He says a bunch a lot. Can't think of his... Ooh, it's on top of my brain. That guy, that Scottish guy. Okay, he did some things afterwards, but they never made a sequel to Bridesmaids. What? Chris O'Dowd. Wow. John Hamm was in it. They never made a sequel to Bridesmaids. Why is that? They did the Mila Kunis, where she's someone that's been married a long time, and she's got kids, kind of a bunch of women getting together and partying type thing. There've been a lot of movies similar, but nothing exactly like... There's been no Bridesmaids 2. Answer that question. That's a query. 336MM Daily. Why didn't they ever make a sequel to that? That's just bizarre. Because... they could have done Kristen Wiig getting married. Maybe she gets married to the Chris O'Dowd guy. And then probably because Melissa McCarthy became too expensive to get for a movie. Kristen Wiig's her career, what's happened to that? Okay, we got to wrap up the show. I've only got a little bit of time left to upload this and to make it go into your ear hole. So thank you so much for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast. Next show, hopefully we'll do one this week, and keep it daily, because that is in the name and the title. We will hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. Have a great day.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!